Real Talk 2262. That's 22, I'm 62. If you like this content that we're making, do us a favor, push that like, push that subscribe, push that notification, so when we drop them, you'll get them first. Okay, this topic here is going to be about James Harden.
Yeah.
Okay, the traveler and the step back king.
Not a travel. The ball's rotating.
Okay, so James, in my opinion, he could never play with his run. His best time was here in Houston,
of course,
and he had 3 stars, and we're going to continue with that Dwight Howard. He had Dwight Howard first.
Yeah.
Then he had Chris Paul second.
Yeah.
And then he had
the Brody
Westbrook. And each one of those guys, he figured out a way to chase them out. He can't, to me, play with a star. Like right now, there's nobody in Clipperland that...
I'm not even sure Kawhi playing, but Kawhi's so inconsistent on playing. Exactly. It's really, he's just there.
So he's the main... So, question I got to ask you, why is it James Harden can't play with another star?
He's a street ball legend. He got to have that ball in his hand. He hoops. I mean, that's all. He's a hooper, first and foremost. So Harden's whole ideal is, to me, this is how I feel like how his mentality is.
Right.
He don't like sharing that spotlight with nobody.
All right. Okay.
So that spotlight is, and when people challenge his authority, he don't like that either.
So he's that.
He's a control freak.
Right.
Because so he likes people that's below him. He'll bring you up. Right. But you always going to be below him.
Right.
So that's why he likes the Clint Capellas instead of the Dwight Howards. Like, when him and Dwight bickered, the first time I ever seen them really bickered was about who team it was.
That's right. That's right.
They was bickering about Daryl Morey was who team this is going to be about.
Right.
And it was in 2015, James Harden did a very bonehead attempt of passing the ball to Dwight Howard at the basically, at the half court.
Right.
And Dwight's like, why are you passing to me? Throw it back to you. Right. You were the actual shooter, and why are you passing it to me?
And that's James Harden.
At half court.
That's the
and he looking at him crazy like, what are you doing? I'm just getting up past half court.
That's playoff James. He don't want, you want to be the guy, but come the playoff time when I need you to be the guy, you want to defer or you get these streaks and you can't finish.
Yeah. And
so the team say, we recognize you can't finish, so let's give you a
star.
A star.
Then they bring Chris Paul. Chris Paul, and that first season together was like magic.
Yeah.
It was magical.
We didn't know Chris had a 3-point shot. He comes with the Rockets, and the Rockets are a 3-point shooting team, and Chris comes out here splashing with the threes.
And only that team would have won a championship.
It would.
If Chris stayed healthy.
But even saying that, they were bickering though at the end of the season.
Yeah, they were doing little bickers, but the second season is when everybody saw it. It was like when Chris is like saying, "Yeah, come on, man, come on, yeah, we're good," and then you see Harden just slapping your hand out the way, like, "No, this ain't it. I'm running this show." Right. And then when they got knocked out by Golden State, he says, "There's gonna be some changes that's gonna be happening up in here."
Right.
And after he said that, remember I told you that years ago. I was like, he's going to trade him.
Yeah, because they was arguing
all throughout that season. It was and it was a rough season. They won like 45 games or something.
But what was happening? Chris was in a lot of clutch situations. Harden is not clutch.
Yeah,
and so Chris was becoming clutch during the regular season and in the beginning of that playoff run.
Yeah, and
then what happened? James got upset because he was taking that shine.
He was taking that last shots away.
And he was taking that shine from him. But Chris was clutch during that run.
Even though Harden was averaging like a whole month, 50 points.
Right.
But he still, who was taking the last shot was his feeling.
That's right. And then also the coaches.
Yeah.
He got rid of Kevin McHale. Remember he was messing with the Kardashians, or what are they called?
Yeah, the Kardashians.
The Kardashians. And he comes in out of shape. I know Kevin McHale got on him because he's old school. And they start off a little slow. And then
Kevin McHale was 4-7 before he got fired.
Exactly.
He coached 11 games before he got fired.
Exactly. And the year before that was Harden debacle when he gave the ball to Dwight.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with the coach. And
they won 56 games the year before.
Exactly.
So my thing is, for like the last 2-3 years, you won 50 plus games with this coach.
Right.
And you just went to the conference finals and you fired the coach.
Right. And so then when the next coach comes in, what's his name? Mike
D'Antoni.
He comes in and he has no authority. It's James Harden team. From what I heard is that they were stopped en route to come back to Houston. They have to do some stops because James wanted them to stop.
Yeah, let's say like we going from Portland and we're going all the way from Portland, back to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say usually a team would just go straight through.
Right.
But he would say, if we're passing by, let's go to Vegas.
Right.
Or if we're passing by, we're going to go to Vegas, and then we're going to go to a strip club here.
Right.
If you're making roundabout stops, and it's even if his teammates don't like it, you be quiet because that's the team leader.
That's the team. And the coach had no power.
Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it was James was coaching. James had complete power. Even I think all the way up to the ownership. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I feel like the owner wanted to get her out of that situation too, and get some money out of it.
Right. Exactly. So James, he does not like to share the spotlight.
And then they trade Chris for Russell Westbrook, thinking, oh yeah, they were teammates and they're
friends. They're
friends. They've been knowing each other since they've been kids.
AAU probably.
Mm-hmm. They're supposed to be knowing each other since like 8 or 9 or something like that. So they're friends, and they were like, at first they was real good. They were balling real good. Then the bubble happened, and then the bubble happened. And supposedly this is what Westbrook was saying. Harden was very unprofessional. He was coming into film an hour late, and just in general, the team leader, Westbrook coming there 15, 20 minutes early, and the supposedly team leader is coming in 30 minutes late. He's coming late in general is already bad look for a leader.
Exactly.
And then Westbrook is like, one thing we can all say about Westbrook. Westbrook is the ultimate professional.
Yes.
When he comes off the
regardless how you feel about his playing style,
he's a very professional person.
Right. On and off, you don't hear anything about him off the court.
He don't do nothing. He don't do cheap shots. Nope. He don't do nothing like that. No. He just keeps it. Only time he does a lot is when he plays against Patrick Beverly.
Yeah,
they got a rivalry.
Grudge. No, it's beyond a rivalry. That's a little grudge.
So he does a bit much for Pat, and he does a little bit much for Kevin Durant.
Right.
He does a lot more extra stuff when he goes against KD. Yeah. But other than that, too, he don't really do too much. Right. He just hype.
Right. And I'm happy to see Westbrook because,
he loves playing the game of basketball.
He does. I'm glad to see his career got rejuvenated because...
playing with the GOAT of this generation.
Right.
But yeah, Harden, he needs only him to hoop.
And the ball.
As long as the ball's in his hands, it's cool.
It's cool.
And you can win 45 to 50 games with him being the lead.
The guy
of the team. Right. But you do not have championship aspirations.
So we all thought that Harden wanted a ring. But now we know
I want one.
He don't care about a ring. He only cares about the ball.
I mean, you should have assumed that when in 2011, when they offered him $4 million less, it was $4 million less.
When he was at OKC.
And
that was a team.
You had already Serge, Safalosha, KD, Westbrook. Everybody was paid for.
And the bench.
And the bench.
Right.
Everybody was already paid for it. Right. Just Harden needed $4 million less.
Right.
Because they gave Serge the max because Serge was the defense.
That's right.
People don't really understand that. Like, why he didn't give up Harden. Harden was a sixth man.
That's right.
Which is already hard enough to believe that you're going to get the max to the sixth man. But you can see the talent.
Right.
But Serge was the defense. He was potentially a depot. Yeah. That's how good of a defensive player. He was nicknamed Serge Ibaka because he was going to block your shot.
And he was contributing when he was in Toronto.
He was a
championship run.
That's when that team. He developed the three, but he was back then. He was had hops out this world, blocking people's shots everywhere.
Right.
And he needed that.
Right.
So if you like this, comment. If you really, really like this, we need to see, growth. I mean, tell your friends, tell your family about this channel. All right.